Yo, what up? Welcome back to another video. I know I said this was originally going to be about the XT3 stylus, which that is here, but I have something more vintage and more fitting of my channel than the stylus, which is this thing. Now, where did I get this thing? Well, let me tell you. Over this past weekend, or no, it was 2 weekends ago. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, I went to VCF Midwest, had a time of my life, got my ThinkPad T22 signed by LGR, which was definitely a highlight, and also I got COVID, which is unfortunate, but I'm pretty much almost over it, so if my voice sounds like trash, that's why. Anyway, they were selling a bunch of these things for $25. These are Macintosh Quadra 630s. They are some of, at least to my knowledge, the last 68K Macs ever produced. And they were selling them for $25, labeled as works but bad hard drive. And I'm pretty sure they also said no CD drive, because yeah, there's not a CD drive there. It's just a blank. But having the opportunity to buy a 68K Mac that I know won't get destroyed by shipping companies, because oh my god, this thing's plastic is so brittle, like FedEx or whatever would just like instantly nuke it. Being able to buy it, transport it myself, and take it home, and knowing it'll still be in mostly one piece for $25 was a hell of a deal. So let's do a quick look around of this thing. I gotta unplug the VGA cable. Hang on. Yes, I don't own an Apple CRT. They are way too expensive, and I don't need more CRTs. I'm gonna unplug this and do the unfortunate thing of unplugging the power, because I haven't gotten around to replacing the clock battery yet. Then let me pull out the logic board really quickly. So there's just like a handle on the back here, and you just gotta pull it. There we go. This is the motherboard of the Quadra 630. I think this board is actually out of a Performa 630, and my reasoning is for on low-end Mac, it claims that there's 2 ADB ports on the Quadra, but this board only has 1. And also the Quadra shouldn't have, or it should have a 68040. This is not a 68040. This is a 68LC040, which means it doesn't have a floating point math coprocessor. That basically means I can't run some things. Like, did you know that there's Quake 1 for 68K? I can't run that because I don't have an FPU. Unfortunate, I know, but it's whatever. You also notice that this stick of RAM is here. That was not there before. This thing only came with 4 megabytes of RAM before, but that was like not enough RAM to even install system 7.6. So I added another 8 megabytes. But that still wasn't enough. So I just said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get this thing a shit ton of RAM. So that is a, you could probably see it actually. Yeah, right there. It's a 32 megabyte 72-pin SIM, which is way more memory than this thing ever realistically needs. But that means I don't have to worry about running out of memory. I can load any extensions ever, and yeah. So, but yeah, my reasoning for thinking that this is a Performa 630 board in a Quadra case is the processor and the I/O layout. I don't really care that it's a Performa board and a Quadra. I'm more happy with the fact I have a working 68K Mac and it didn't cost like $300. I'm more than happy with this thing. So, let's get this reassembled and I'll show you it in action. Alright, so we're set back up here, and there's a couple other things I also bought at VCF Midwest, because getting into these old computers, I needed the right accessories, because the dude who sold me this thing straight up told me, don't use the power button on the back or it will snap, and I pressed it anyway and it fucking snapped. So yeah, I had to buy an ADB keyboard, which, yeah, it costed more than the computer itself. There were like barely anybody selling ADB keyboards at the show for some reason. Also, I had to buy an ADB mouse. This was only $25, but it's still like as much, if not more, than the computer. One other thing I will note, you can use S-video cables for ADB cables, but get a multimeter and I believe you need to test the 2 pins directly above the little rectangular bit here. If they're shorted together, do not plug this into a computer or you will fry it. These 2 pins, if they're shorted together, because they might be on some S-video cables, these are both grounds, so some S-video cable makers will just short them both together because they're both ground and it doesn't matter. But for ADB, it does. I don't remember what the pins are, but if they're shorted together, you will fry whatever you plug it into. That's actually what happened to Jiraga 1's Power Match E3 when he said he used an S-video cable on it, but I have taken a multimeter and verified that these 2 pins are not shorted together, so this works as an ADB cable. So that saves a little bit of money. Oh my god, how do I plug this in? It should just... oh, like that. Okay. Wait. There we go. Oh, one other thing. In terms of what hard drive I put in here, I got a 360 gigabyte hard drive from the show's 3 pile. So I just put that in there because, like, you know, 3 hard drive, why does it matter? Anyway, let's get this thing started up. So I just pressed there's the power button on the keyboard. You just press that. Maybe. There we go. And then it just comes right on. Now, of course, because I haven't replaced the stupid block battery yet, it will not remember what time it is. I plan on fixing that at some point, but I've been recovering from being sick. So, yeah, I used APS Power Tools to format the built-in macOS partitioner. Only lets you set 8 partitions, so I used that to try and get around it, but it really doesn't like mounting more than 8 partitions. Oh yeah, because this doesn't have a CD drive, this giant fucking disk stack is how I installed System 7.6 on here. It was terrible. I went through like 5 dead disks before I got this working pile of disks. Old macOS installers, if they hit a disk error, they don't even let you, like, retry so you can put a different disk in. They're just like, no, we are going to fail. It's so fun. I love old macOS. Okay, come on. There we go. It will not remember what time it is. Yes, it does not remember what fucking time it is. I'm gonna turn up the volume on this. Hang on. Okay. No, I don't need AOL, thank you. Okay, let me go set the date and time real fast. Anyway, welcome to this Mac. It's currently running, here, let me see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. It's currently running System Software 7.6.1. There's our built-in memory, 36 megabytes, because remember this board has 4 megabytes built in, and there's a 32 megabyte RAM stick installed. I believe Apple System Profiler also lets me show more about this system. It does, as you can see. The Finder is version 7.5.6, System 7.6.1 US, processor 68 LCO40 33 megahertz, memory installed 36, virtual memory is on. Don't have that much virtual memory enabled. We have open transport and stuff, yada yada yada. Now, if you're wondering why this doesn't look like macOS, I have Kaleidoscope installed, which is right here, Kaleidoscope. You can see this is just Kaleidoscope. I think I could pick a different theme. I have a couple of them on here. Like if I wanted to use, I don't know, B-box. Ta-da! Now it looks like BOS, but that's boring. I like the other theme better, the purple theme. This one. There we go. Now, shut up. It's fine. Anyway, so what can we do with this? Well, you'll have to excuse my drive names. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drives, and if they were all just called untitled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would be boring. So I picked some random words. But I have a bunch of games and stuff on here, so we can start with how about a funny meme game like Mario's Game Gallery? That's a classic.
Mac Play. Along with Presage, proudly present.
This is probably really loud, oh my god.
Mario's Game Gallery.
Wow, I'm turning that down, that's really loud. Holy shit. There we go. I'm sure you've seen videos of this game on the internet because it's a meme, so I'm gonna quit this. I know we also have Microsoft Office installed. Where that's installed, though, I don't remember. That might actually be... Oh, I think that's actually on Macintosh HD. Yes it is, Macintosh HD. We have... This is... Actually, I have the thingy up here. This is the newest 68K version of Microsoft Office, so I believe it's like 4.2.1. But yeah, it works. Shut up, it's fine. We can type words, so wow, words. Yeah, Microsoft Office isn't really that insanely interesting. I know I mentioned Quake earlier, but Quake does not run, and I think if I try to run it right now, it's just going to bomb error. Yeah, it's just gonna do that. Okay, well, we have to reboot, so we'll be right back. Alright, we're back after that reboot, but yeah, another game that suffers from the lack of not having an FPU is there's actually a port of Full Tilt Pinball, which needs a floating point, so I can't show it, but this is the same game that provided the demo for Space Cadet that was shipped with Windows up until like XP, which is very funny to see it just on a Macintosh. And other games that run sort of okay is you can actually play Marathon 1 on here pretty not terribly. Yeah, I don't care. New game. I only vaguely know how to play Marathon. I have not played much of it, but yeah. It is a game you can play on a Macintosh Quadra. Well, I guess this is actually a Performa, but I'm gonna call it a Quadra anyway, because that's what the fucking badge on the front says. But yeah, you can play the game. It actually runs not that bad. I don't know. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, gaming. I think I'll show like one other program, and then I have one other thing to show. You know what? KidPix. KidPix is like a staple Mac game. Game. It's more of like a experience, I guess. KidPix.
Paint a picture.
Wow. Okay, let's paint a picture. Wow, this is, yeah, I forgot. KidPix is really weird. At least the paintbrush tool is. Hi. As you can see, KidPix runs pretty well on here. And of course, it plays Doom and all that stuff. Yeah, no. No, I want to quit. Let me out. No. It plays Doom, and oh, I can probably show Doom, or else.
Choose a movie to watch.
No, I don't want to watch a movie. So it can play Doom. It's not very good at playing Doom, but it can in fact play Doom. I have Ultimate Doom here. Ultimate Doom 1. Okay, let me see. Okay, yeah. So I had to make the viewing window kind of small to get decent performance, but it's fine. And the control scheme by default is super weird. It's an inverted T, but on IJKL. And then, what the hell is fire? Fire is D for some reason. Yeah, Doom works. Hang on. Yeah, Doom. You know what, I'm just gonna skip that guy. Nope, never mind, I can't. Okay, hang on. I wanna beat this level. Yeah, Doom doesn't run that horribly. I mean, I've seen it run worse, so... Ooh, wow. Never mind, maybe it does run kinda shit. Anyway, yeah, that's Doom. Now, there's one other thing I want to show, which is, you might have noticed I had Microsoft Internet Applications folder on here, because I have Internet Explorer on here. But, this thing has no network card. Well, hang on. Ugh. I have this absolutely incomprehensible diagram of how to wire the Mac serial port to a PC serial port, and over this, and using a Linux computer, we can connect this thing to the internet. So I'm gonna go get the serial adapter plugged in and all the necessary hardware going, and we'll be right back. Okay, I've plugged everything in. So now what we can do is we can simply go to the PPP control panel, which is right here. For number, we just put in 1. I already have it set to, in the modem configuration, I already have it set up to be no modem 5600. So, all I have to do is press enter on my Linux computer. Okay, so I've pressed enter, the service has started, then I press connect, and as you can see, we now have a connection. So we can just close this, then we can open Internet Explorer, and we can go to the internet. So we can go to http:// shit, I pressed enter. No, stop. Okay, so http://www.frogfind.com. We can go to FrogFind. Here it is. We could search for Macintosh Quadra 630. Ribbit. Come on, you can do it. So Wikipedia doesn't let you read it in the FrogFind backend anymore, which is kind of depressing, but that's okay. So here it is. Here's the low-end Mac page for the Quadra 630. It's not very fast. We're running at about 57.6K baud for the serial port speed. So it's not super fast, but it's good enough. Anyway, yeah. So the Quadra 630 was the last Mac designed around the 6804 OR processor, but you saw when I took the board out of this one, it had a 68 LC04, which makes me think that it's a Performa board and a Quadro, which is whatever, I guess. So yeah, it's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. 33 megahertz, 68040, performance, ROM 4 megabyte. 4 megabyte, the Performa 631, yada yada yada. Yeah, so you can even browse the internet on this thing. But that's pretty much all I have to show about this. I just wanted to show what the experience of setting up a 68K Mac is like, pretty much. It's certainly different than like even late PowerPC Macs, which is really interesting to see. But yeah, oh, shut up, it's fine. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. Thanks for watching. I don't know when the next video will be. I'm sure it'll be eventually. But take care. See you later.